Hello everybody and welcome back to another Python basics tutorial. And as I said, in this tutorial right now we will actually cover the creation of files. We will also learn how we can delete them, write to them and read from them. Now that is really important, especially if we want to implement, for example, in our backdoor a download and upload function. We want to be able to download all of the files from the victim's PC, and we also want to be able to download or to upload files to the victim PC. So in order to get started for this, we will just create a simple txt file, since that is the most simple file to create. I mean, we create with the same command all types of files, but in order for you to understand it the best, we will use this one. So let us actually open up our Python interpreter. So right now, if we import the os command, which I showed in the previous video what that means, and we run the system function from the os library, and we ls and see which type of files we have right here, you will see that we do not have any file called test.txt. So let's say, for example, right now we want to create a file that will be called test.txt. Now we can do that with a single line command. So let's make a file object first. So the file object, in order to create it, you just type here file object underscore object, or this is basically the name of your file. You do not need to name it like this. You can name it anything you want, and after that you specify equals and then open. So basically this is the entire command. In the side of the open brackets, you need to specify the name of the file and what you want to do with the file. Now, what you want to do with the file I will cover just in a few moments, but first of all, let's actually open the file's name. So we open up the double quotes and we type here test.txt. Since we said we want to name that file like that, you can name it anything you want. Then you specify comma and then again double quotes and then W. W stands for write, so we will be able to write anything to a file from our Python program. With write you can actually, or let's first of all just start off with write, and I will show you what other mods you can also use. So there are W, R and A. I will explain all of them in just a second, but first of all let's just run this command first. So right now we created a file object in our Python programs directory. So right now, if we run the os.systemls command once again, you can see that right here we have a program, or not a program, we have a file called test.txt. Now that file is currently empty. We can check that with the same command, so just cat test.txt. You will see that there is nothing in the file. And right now, let's say for example we want to write our password in that file, for example. So we would do that with specifying the same name of our file that we specified in the opening command. So we need to specify file object underscore object dot write, and then between these brackets under the double quotes we need to specify the string that we want to add to that file. So we can add anything. So let's say password is, for example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And we just write that to a file, and once again if we run the os cat test.txt, it basically says nothing. Let me just check out why does it say that. Or basically, yeah, it should say nothing. As we can see right now, if I exit it and cat the test.txt, it will say password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So good, I didn't know why I expected that to say actually something. Doesn't even matter. Let us just import the os once again. Let us actually now try to read from that file. You can't use that cat command. You can actually use file object.read in order to actually read that file. But right now, since I closed my interpreter, I actually have to open that file once again. Since I closed first my interpreter 10 seconds ago, right now reopened it, my Python interpreter doesn't really know what file object is. Now let me just show you right now. You can name it again anything you want. So file equals open, and as you can see right now I can open a file that already exists. So basically what this will do is it will check out if the file exists, and if it does it will open it for us. And if the file doesn't exist, it will create a new file for us called the test.txt. But since in our case right now the file exists, and in that file we have the passwords, or a single password that we specified with .write command, right now it will open that file. And with that file, it will ask us in the next specification what do we want to do with it. Right now we want to specify R right here, which basically stands for read. So what we want to do, we want to read from that file. We want to read the contents of that file. So close the double quotes, close the brackets, and right now if you just type here file.read and then open the brackets and specify nothing in them, you will see that the content of our file is basically password and then these two dots and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which we specified in the previous open Python interpreter. So right now we know that we can open a file, we can write to it. So right now if you, for example, tried to write to it, you wouldn't be able to, since, let's say 1, 2, 3, since you didn't open the file for writing, you only opened the file for reading. Now, if you were to open the file for writing once again, so let me just show you. Let's go to the back command and type write right here. You can also perform the, or basically since you did not open the file, since you reopen the file once again for writing, right now you cannot read from that file, since it says file not open for reading. But right now you can run this command that we tried before, which is file.write 1, 2, 3. If you just specify that, and right now if you open file once again for reading, which is just R, and you tried to read that file, you will see right now that file only has 1, 2, 3 in it. It doesn't have the file, or pardon me, the password, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in it. So it's good to understand that R stands for read, W stands for write, and A, which you can specify right here. So if you open for A+, it will actually allow you to append to that file. As you saw previously, once we opened the file to write to it, it actually first deleted all of the previous contents of that file and then written the 1, 2, 3 to it. It basically replaced the previous contents with this right here. Right now, let's say for example, if we wanted to add 4, 5, 6 to this without deleting the 1, 2, 3, we would have to open that file with A+. So you open that file, test.txt, and then you specify this A+ right here, and right now if you just type here file.write and then you specify 4, 5, 6, and then you try to read from that file. Oops, why does it say nothing? Right now it basically says nothing, so not really sure why that happens. Let me just close this once again and get the test.txt. Okay, so you have right now, not really sure why sometimes it shows and sometimes it doesn't. Probably because I opened it in the append mode, that's why the read didn't work, but right now we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 4, 5, 6. Now we have twice the 4, 5, 6 since I actually typed it twice in order to check why I couldn't read. But you can see that it successfully appended these other numbers to our 1, 2, 3. So let's actually write a program. So nano, let's remove the test.txt so we can make a new test.txt. Now let's actually nano python 8.py. So right now, standardly input our Python path, and right here we can, for example, open our file. So fn equals open, and let's say it's called, I don't know, let's call it again test.txt. We open it to write it, then we close this. Then after that we actually want to write to that file, so fn.write. We after that need to write what we want to write, so let's say we want hello world right here. We close that. And then we can actually or let's actually leave it for a second just on this. So let's Control O, save, Control X to exit, chmod python 8.py, and then Python 8 we run it. You will see nothing really happens, but if you compare this ls right here and this ls right here, you will see that right now we have test.txt file with the hello world. And let's say we want to make another program, but we will use the same one. We will just rewrite this one, and we want to read from a file. We will specify this right here. We would specify .read. So fn read. Basically not really sure if we have to print this. I don't think so. So let's save this. Now this will open this file right here, and it will print out all the contents that are currently in that file. Now, in my case, that is the hello world, so let's actually run that once again. Oops, so we have to add the print statement. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's add it, so print fn.read, and right now it should print the hello world to us. As we can see right here, it successfully printed the contents of a file in our output. So, it's good to remember that in the W stands for write, read stands for, R stands for read, and A stands for append. So that's something you should know. It is very useful, and we will be using these commands in our backdoor making. So that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!